objective number 26 is to resist any form of collaboration with the racist minority agenda and program. So if someone asks, will you ever be in government with the DA? The answer is no, because we aim to not collaborate with racism. It's in the constitution of Umkhonto weSizwe. We also fight to decolonize South Africa's knowledge systems and laws in a manner that will embrace and uphold decolonized laws and systems against colonial and neo-colonial laws such as the Roman Dutch law and English law. And doctrine, like that is basically that we are moving away from the Roman Dutch law. But also fight for a sound relationship between South Africa and the entire African continent in a manner and direction that seeks to achieve gradual integration towards common prosperity, freedom, and development. And that we're going to associate with the Global South, and that we're going to contribute as Umkhonto weSizwe towards a progressive shift in the global balance of forces by strengthening institutions of the Global South like BRICS Plus and its alliances. You know, comrades, you must, but I think we will one day talk about the profound legacy of President Zuma in terms of the building the Global South agenda and placing South Africa at the center of progressive internationalism in a true sense. So, you know, you must go and listen to the part in the press conference where he was announcing the conveners of Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. I was not in that press conference. But the part where he was speaking about the de-dollarization of the global economy and how, as head of state and president, he introduced that concept and practice in the BRICS bloc, and the deliberations that got to happen in that front. And it's one of the issues that we will talk about. What Umkhonto weSizwe aims to get to achieve. Section 4 on page 13. Speak to the principles and values of the organization. What are the principles and values of the organization? 10 principles. One is Ubuntu, Ubuntu. That umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. So munu imunu iban bangwan. Mintu. And principle number 2 is unity in action. The emphasis, let me just emphasize on Ubuntu that Umkhonto weSizwe is founded on that principle that we exist because of other people. We are not existing for selfish purposes and for self-interest. Number 2, the principle and value is unity in action, that everything else that we do is to unify all the progressive forces. And then that informs why we have to pursue Pan-Africanism, patriotism, and equality. And that, you know, they speak to each other, all these principles and values, and then followed by honesty and respect. Honesty means that you cannot tell lies. You can't claim easy victories. You can't say you're going to do something and you don't do it. You can't, as a provincial leader, you say, I'm coming to the sub-region there, and then you go and stop somewhere in a tavern and not arrive in a sub-regional meeting or branch meeting. Whatever commitment that you make to structures, to members of the community, you must fulfill. Honesty and respect. Respect means that we must respect everyone. You can't use insulting language even against members of opposition parties. It's not allowed in the organization. That is a principle that is recognized. The other principle in the Constitution of Umkhonto weSizwe is democratic centralism. Democratic centralism means that decisions of upper structures are binding on lower structures. So once the National High Command has taken decisions or the national officials which have got decision-making powers, full decision-making powers in between meetings of the National High Command. Once a decision is taken, you can't say that as MK Free State, we have got a different view to the National High Command. Or as MK Northwest, we disagree. By the time you finish that we disagree with the National High Command, you will be on the other side of the Constitution. And that applies to regions. Once the province gives a directive, you can't be fighting back that, no, we don't agree as a Kurlen where our view is different. We have got one organization. Democratic centralism means that we are going to consult each other on some decisions that are practical to consult on. But once decisions are taken, your right to disagree doesn't matter anymore. We defend the decision. So, comrades, what that means is that as a member of the provincial detachment or regional detachment, if you take a collective decision that it looks like this sub-regional structure is not doing very well, we must dissolve it. Even if you have got a different view, when you are sent to go and communicate the dissolution of the sub-regional structure, you must not go there and say, no, those people say I must come and disband you. You must go there and say, we are here to dissolve you because you have not been doing work of the organization. Even if you had a different view, you must own up to the decisions and practice them. You must learn, it must be natural in your system that once decisions are taken, they are binding to you. You must learn how to articulate them even better than how those who proposed it were explaining it. That is democratic centralism. Once we take decisions, you must be able to defend those decisions. At any given point, that is basically what it means. We will not have an organization without democratic centralism. Democratic centralism is the glue that holds the movement together, solid. It makes peace in the organization, that the organization will know that once we say that by this particular period, the following should have been met as mandate, we know it's going to happen like that. Not debated over for a very long time. Yeah, we need an explanation. What does the National High Command mean about this? We need to be told, what is this? Yeah, what criteria was used to come to this decision? So that is, and that is how it should be, comrades. All of us must live with that reality. But the other principle is mandates, accountability, and reporting, that from time to time we must take mandates and be accountable for that and report. So all of us who go to meetings of Umkhonto Wesizwe, so as a member of the provincial detachment, regional detachment, if you go to a meeting and then you leave that meeting without knowing what you're going to do, you're in a wrong meeting. So at the end of the meeting, you must ask the chair, the convener, we are finishing this meeting. Between now and the next meeting, what do you expect us to do? Like, to just go home. And if you leave a meeting of Umkhonto Wesizwe and you don't know what to do between that meeting and the next meeting, it's a wrong meeting. And legitimately you must ask, okay, we are closing the meeting, but what do you expect us to do what do we report on when we come in the next meeting? When we leave here, it must be clear at any given point in the manner in which the organization operates. The other principle is organic forms of public representation. So what that means is that you must know what is happening in the environment and the communities that we serve. We must be one with the people. You can't be a leader of Umkhonto weSizwe who, when you articulate, he says that, no, I read on Facebook that there is water problems in this area. No. You must know yourself firsthand of what are the issues. You must not be like Ndaweni Mahlangu, the former prim of Mpumalanga. So the same Ndaweni Mahlangu will be reading a speech. He says that in this place here, we have built 5,000 houses, and people are asking, oh, P. He says, man. Because he is just reading from what he has there. You can't rely on what you just read on social media. And then you quote newspapers that, no, I read in the newspapers that there's a big problem there. And then you think that is being political. That, no, there's an issue that I read on Facebook. There was a problem in Orange Farm. And we have not been there. As a leader, whenever there are issues that you have to attend to, you must be there. You must know what are the issues that affect our people, not through mediated means in terms of what happens. But the other principle is discipline and hard work. That you must always go in a disciplined way beyond the work that you are mandated. The other principle is knowledgeability and meritocracy. The other one is class consciousness. We'll explain in detail of what that means, that you must be aware that we are fighting on the side of the working class, but also you must be knowledgeable. You must seek to improve your knowledge every day. Every day you must get to learn something new. As a leader of Umkhonto weSizwe, as a leader of Umkhonto weSizwe women and youth leagues and student movement. In section 5, which is page 19, membership of Umkhonto weSizwe is open to all South Africans who are registered to vote and are above the age of 16 years. So everyone above the age of 16 years in South Africa is allowed to register to vote. We hear that Youth League. So that becomes your program of action as an immediate program. That everyone above the age of 16 is allowed to register to vote. So because the MK Youth League, so voting is from the age of 18. To vote is the age of 18, but to register to vote is 16 years and above. In terms of the Electoral Act of South Africa. What that means, Youth League, is that because the Youth League does not exist in institutions of higher learning, your primary target must be high schools. For everyone above the age of 16, you start to register them to vote. You must even think about having high school-based branches and do work of the organization there. And then you conscientize everyone. So the membership, and make them to join Umkhonto weSizwe from the age of 16. That is the membership of Umkhonto weSizwe, is from age of 16. And membership application is obtained individually through filling of a membership form or online application, and thereafter allocation to and confirmation by the branch of the MK. So when it says that membership is obtained individually, it means we join one by one. So you don't say that, no, I'm going to sign for my family as well. We're 3 at home. You join by yourself. If your family wants to join, they must join one by one. Even if you have got an organization that you are leading, civil society organization or union, you can't say, no, as the general secretary of this union, I'm going to sign for my members as well. I'm bringing masses. No. You join alone. We treat membership one by one in terms of how the membership of Umkhonto weSizwe is. And then it's opened to all the people of South Africa who are opposed to colonialism. and white minority rule. That is membership of Umkhonto Wesizwe. That members of Umkhonto Wesizwe must wholeheartedly serve the people and must be ready to make personal sacrifice and dedicate their lives to realizing the aims and objectives of our organization. That Umkhonto Wesizwe shall forever owe their allegiance to the members of the working class. No member of MKP shall pursue any self-enrichment, personal gain, or privilege at the expense of the people and the organization. That all members of Umkhonto Wesizwe will be placed on probation for a period of 24 months after joining, meaning that their membership may be summarily cancelled collectively by the national officials at any point during the probation period. So probation period means that the leadership of Umkhonto Wesizwe, if you have violated gross violation, there can be a decision permissibly which is allowed by the Constitution to cancel your membership without having taken you to a disciplinary hearing, which is costly and might take for a very long time. If you disrupt meetings of Umkhonto Wesizwe, take out firearms and threaten people, and you can see that this is done beyond any doubt. Why should we take such a person to a disciplinary committee, which is expensive? We take a decision to cancel their membership in terms of the Constitution. Maybe after the 24 months, we can then say maybe there was a mistake. But now there is no space for mistakes now. Now there is no space for mistake. In terms, and it says the cancellation of the membership will be done against members whom the national officials believe have violated the organizational principles, policies, and prescripts, or are not aligned to the strategic objectives of the organization. So there are obvious cases where you know that this one does not need the disciplinary process. And that every time when such action